What is going on, Kaiju fans? Just got done watching the English dubbed version of Shin Godzilla on the Blu-ray that came out on August 1st, so 2 days ago now. And, well, it's okay. It's an okay dubbing. It's not fantastic. The benefits of it, I guess, are it's a lot easier to casually watch the movie with it being in English because they do a fairly good job translating everything and keeping the plot points the way they need to. They do a pretty good job. They don't try too hard to like match words or anything. They kind of just talk over. So most of the actual dialogue is translated very well, and it holds the plot together. And being, native English speakers, like most of you watching the video right now would be, it reveals a little bit more of the plot points, and things make a little bit more sense because you don't miss anything trying to read all of the subtitles and watch the movie at the same time, which was the experience I had in the theater back in October when it came out in the United States. Is that it was hard to keep focused on what was actually happening visually when I was reading all of these subtitles. So this streamlines the viewing experience by a lot to where you can understand the plot a little better, and it's not so much of a chore to watch the movie. You can enjoy it a lot more. That's probably going to be the only time I watch it in English, though, just because I much prefer watching it in Japanese with the subtitles. The voice actors, I don't know, some of the voice actors they picked are pretty good for their roles. Like the female lead, well, I can't remember her name. She's like the foreign intelligence ambassador almost for the United States in Japan, with the main character Yashori, or is it Yaguchi? One of those two. Yeah, him. Her voice actor matches perfectly. Sorry about the awkward pause, but the main character, I can't remember if his name's Yaguchi or Yashori because I get lost when I watch it in English, but if I had watched it in subtitles, I would have remembered better. His voice actor, it throws me off. They picked a very non-serious sounding person for a very serious role, so it gets a little disorienting. It doesn't really seem fitting a lot of the times. But being those two actually being kind of like the main characters, they get the most screen time. Nothing else really matters. It's kind of funny because a lot of like the scientists and civilians get like very high pitched, like happy, like toned voice actors, and then literally all of the military personnel, they pick people that literally sounded like super manly men for every single position, even if they're not like, manly military leaders. They're just like probably like the ITs and things like that. They all sound really, really like purposefully overly masculine, so that was really off-putting. That was really kind of the only thing that stuck out to me, like, hey, that doesn't seem right. And I guess I wasn't like a huge fan of like the Prime Minister's voice actor either, but it's watchable. It's watchable. The main problem I usually have with dubbings of live action movies like this is that the sound of the person talking no longer has positioning relative to the actual scenario, so you don't actually get sounds coming from where they would be because it's just literally a voiceover, so everyone sounds the exact same distance to you, and it's just kind of like ambient talking with people moving their mouths. So it's kind of off-putting. It's a little bit more bearable in the older Godzilla movies because everything's kind of lower quality anyways, and that older movies like that don't have like really good sound. But in a new movie from 2016 with the dubbing like that, it is very strange to watch. So that's another reason I probably won't watch it again. But it definitely streamlines the viewing experience, makes it a lot easier to watch. And then, I mean, at least Funimation, the dubbing is clear and they picked very clear speaking actors, and it's a very high quality dubbing. I just don't necessarily agree with a lot of the voice actors selected for their roles. They probably could have used everybody they casted and just like swapped around who was who. But I mean, I definitely recommend watching it in the dub at least once if you're usually like affiliated to watching the subbed. I kind of stopped watching the subs when I stopped watching the dubs when I realized that a lot of the dubs of the older movies get a lot of their plot points and actual storyline removed from the movie when they dub it, and they make it a new storyline. The most clear example that I can think of would be Godzilla 2000 Millennium, where the storyline is completely altered by the way it's dubbed, and the special effects are changed. It's a completely different plot from the Japanese version to the English version, because the clearest cut thing is that the word millennium appears nowhere in the English version whatsoever, because Orga is just an alien that comes and wants to take on Godzilla's form, where literally in the Japanese version, he is an entire alien race and wants to make a new kingdom of the world, which is called the Millennium Kingdom, and then chooses Godzilla. The plot's completely different, and that's at least that's not the case for Shin Godzilla. Shin Godzilla retains the plot probably 99% of the way. There's a few small alterations, but you get the same movie regardless of what you watch. There's no changes whatsoever. And this is the full Shin Godzilla, that's dubbed. It's not like a resurgence cut where a lot of the plot is removed. This is the full Shin Godzilla movie with the dubbing. So that's another benefit too. Like, it's actually Shin Gojira and it's not resurgence like some of the other countries are going to get with their releases. So I'm going to say that the dubbing is probably, of this movie, is probably a 7 out of 10, just because of the fact that it's clear, it's done well, and there's no strange cutting of the movie. The plot retention is perfect. They don't try to match words with mouths to alter what they say and alter the plot line, so that's good. The only real issues I have is the choice of voice actors for the characters are very, very far from what the Japanese the Japanese actors actually sound like. They probably could have done better, especially of this being a release through Funimation. They have, it's Funimation. There's a budget behind this. So that's good. And the fact that this is also a Funimation release for this dub and sub, it helps because it puts it in local stores. If it wasn't through Funimation, it probably wouldn't show up in most large retail stores in the United States and other countries. Maybe if it was closer, maybe it was like 2015 and the hype from Godzilla 2014 was still going, that might have been, but the fact that Funimation released it basically ensured it going to most big box stores, so it's very readily available, and it is ranging in price from $19 to $25. If you buy it online like Amazon, you're going to be paying $25. If you go to an actual store, like I went to Walmart and just picked it up, you can get it for $19.99. Plus, you get to actually pick the condition of what cardboard sleeve you get, because a lot of them are banged up, so you don't want to just get sent a very bad one. And special features and things like that for this release, there is only the trailers and then an interview called Godzilla vs. the Nerds, which I didn't watch because it just sounds very uninteresting, and it's basically just a review from them. So there's no deleted scenes or anything like that on this release, which is unfortunate. The one good thing about it, it makes it different, is it does have a reversible cover. It comes like this inside the sleeve, but you can get this by turning it around, and then it has the digital HD UV download, so you can watch it on the go, and it does have the DVD as well. But if you're picking up the Blu-ray, you'll never use the DVD. They basically just throw that in there to justify the price increase over the DVD, which sucks, but it works. People buy it, and that's really it. I mean, if you like Shin Godzilla or you're a Godzilla collector, you're definitely gonna have to go pick this up. And then I recommend watching the dub at least one time if you're gonna stick to the subs usually. Watch the dub one time. You might pick up on things you missed when you watch the sub. One last thing is that they do keep the rolling title joke in the dubbed version, because they still put people's titles over them when they show up throughout the movie with subtitles. So the main characters, add additions to titles as people die. That joke is still in there. And then one of the nice things they did is it's formatted correctly in widescreen, so the subtitles appear in the black borders and not over the actual pictures. So that's it. But that's really going to be it. It's still a great movie. It's still one of the best Godzilla movies in my opinion, because of how true it holds to Godzilla as the abomination character that he was originally envisioned as a horror creature. So the movie as a whole is still incredible, and then the dubbing of it does it justice. It could have been better, but that's it. I'm done talking. Go pick it up, and if you have watched the dub, let me know what you thought of it down in the comments. I will catch you all in the next video. Peace out.